Hello and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today we're going to take a trip a little bit up north on the Japan seaside of Honshu to a brewery in Niigata Prefecture, and that brewery is called Echigo Beer, and that is Echigo is the old name for that area of Japan, and the beer in question is this one. It's the newest one from Echigo, and it is called Echigo Citra, Strata, and Dorado IPL, India Pale Lager. But first, a little bit about Echigo Brewery. They are, again, in Niigata Prefecture, and they claim to be the first microbrewery in Japan. And, well, if you want to go back historically, I'm sure you could find a lot of small brewers, but in the terms of craft beer, modern craft beer, they may well be the earliest, 1994. So if you can find a brewery, a craft brewery that started before then, please do tell me. But they tout that on their label right here, Japan's first microbrewery. And the founder of Echigo, his family had a sake brewery, and he didn't follow in the footsteps of his forebears, but he went to Europe and worked as a stage actor in the late 1970s and 1980s. And he met a German woman, and he was impressed by German beer and German culture. Maybe he was impressed by the woman as well, I do not know. But when he came back to Japan, he had that in mind, the beer and culture of Germany, and he decided to open a microbrewery, and he did in 1994, and specialized first of all in German beers, but now it's branched out into all kinds of different beers. But the the motto is let's be romantic, act on stage as a stage actor. Okay, well, Rate Beer lists about 70 beers for this brewery, and Untapped has, I think at last call, it was something like 246, and that's just way too many. I think there are probably a lot of duplicates. Again, Japan's first microbrewery, and they also do contract brewing as well. Since they were around early, a lot of newer brewers used them as contract brewers when they started. Okay, shall we move on to the beer? The beer is this one. It is, again, it's called Echigo Citra, Strata, Dorado IPL, and of course Citra, Strata, and Dorado are the names of the hops that they use. They call it a double dry hopped session IPL. Dry hopping refers to the process of adding hops after the beer has boiled and cooled and fermented, and while it's fermenting. And they did have an earlier beer last year, and they call this a sequel to their Citra Strata IPA in 2023. This is an IPL. And the label art, as you can see here, has tigers. They do use tigers on several of their beers, and according to the website, these three tigers are running through the land of golden beer. As you can see here, what do you see? It looks like kind of like Angkor Wat or something, but there is obviously a river of beer flowing. Perhaps they've been drinking from that river, and their names are Citra, Strata, and behind them is Dorado, the head tiger watching over them. Okay, does that make sense to you? Anyway, so it was double dry hopped. This time, last year's was an IPA. This year is a lager, IPL, India Pale Lager. And so we'll see how it is. I believe I did have the Citra Strata. I don't recall it, but in any case, Echigo kind of maybe upped their game in recent years. They used to be kind of less impressive, but I think they're doing a better job these days. This beer cost me 328 yen where I bought it, and it's available at stores. Yamaya stores definitely carry them, and I think perhaps you can find it at Liquor Mountain stores as well. 328 yen, and that would translate into $2.09 in US dollar terms, and in euros, 1.93 euros. This beer is not listed on Rate Beer. On Untapped, when I checked, it had 38 ratings, and the average was pretty high, 3.57 out of 5. Okay, released on April 19th of 2024, so about a month and a half ago, but I just saw it just recently in the stores. Should we give this one a go? Let's be romantic. Act on stage. I was an actor a long time ago. I did act on stage just before I chucked it all to take on a different profession, which is kind of like acting, but all right. So it is clear, just a touch hazy perhaps, and you see carbonation, little tiny streams of carbonation rising, and a fluffy 2 fingers of white foam, kind of spongy. Oh my, okay. Definitely there's some citrus, something like grapefruit peel perhaps. Okay. And this is a blend again of 3 hops. The Citra comes out quite noticeably in the aroma. So it is citrusy, grapefruity, maybe a bit grassy as well. Kind of light dankness to it. This is okay. Yeah, this definitely has a bit of citrus in it. Yeah, citrus. The bitterness kind of kicks in mid-palate, which is typical, and I think, yeah, and it does continue. The basic character is very light maltiness, thin, medium body, but the kind of citrus character, light grapefruit juice, is the primary element here. Yeah, so it is thinner than it would be if it were an IPA, if it had ale yeast in it, but it has lager instead, which is allowing the hops to shine through. And again, 3 different hops this time. So this is pleasant. 5% session. Well, usually session we tend to think of as a little bit lower than 5, so you can drink, you know, more of them or more of it. Yeah, but this is nice, it's pleasant. It doesn't have a lot of flavor changes. Basically, it starts out with a citrus, bitterness and mid-palate, and the citrus continues with some light bitterness in the end, and that's basically it. 3.57 on Untapped. I think I could probably give this a 3.3, maybe 3.4. It's pleasant, light, rather unassuming, but I think the dry hopping did the job here. So once again, this is called, and I'll put the English right here. It is called Echigo Citra Strata Dorado IPL, Session IPL. It's double dry hop, 5%. Yeah, go out and find this and let me know what you think, okay? I hope you do enjoy it as much as I did. And that is it for today. Please take care. Bye-bye.